Good afternoon. We are here at a CT at the ANZ in Docklands, and I have the absolute pleasure to be here with Nicolas from Congo. How are you today, Nicolas?
Very nice, thank you.
Well, you're also the predominantly major sponsor here at the event, so for the second year running, can you tell us what's attracted you so much to a CT?
For us, it's very important to be here to meet the corporate users because we serve both banks and corporates. That's in our DNA. And being able to be here and exchange and educate a bit people about what we do is key for us. So very happy to be here for the second year in a row.
Well, thank you so much for being a sponsor again for the second year running. In terms of Congo for our audience, can you tell us more around your organisation and who is it you serve and what is it that your focus area?
Sure. So Congo is a B2B software company. So we are a SaaS solution. Our headquarters is in Europe, but we have office in Americas and in Singapore. And we offer solutions for corporate and banks to communicate. So basically the idea is whenever you are in the trade finance industry, you need to handle letter of credit, bank guarantees, what we call trade finance instruments. Many people still do it in an old-fashioned way, using email, Excel, paper, and we are here to provide a solution to connect both the banks and corporate to do it in a digital way. So what it means, that's a big word, what it means is you are able to have a secure connection, you are able to exchange data, so to have report, analysis, and so on, so on. And also, when you are a big corporate, so we have people like DHL, HBB, who have thousands of users, plenty of banks, plenty of guarantees. You have one single platform to communicate with everyone.
Absolutely fabulous. And it's exactly what we need, especially when it talks about global trade and where we're headed. In terms of the Australian market, how are you seeing Australia in terms of on a global scale? And what can Australia do differently to bring themselves up to a different level?
So I think in Australia, for us, it's important as part of the Asia book to be in Australia because there is a big market in terms of bank guarantees. So we see a lot of people, a lot of corporates, they have to handle that and they face a lot of paper. So a lot of people want to change the way they do. So I think there is a willingness to change, which is quite key, because usually it's not about IT and tech, it's really about willingness to change the processes you have in your organization. So how do you start? That's the big question. You start by taking a leap of faith, so we need the first one to move, that's for sure. And you also have to be very pragmatic, because when it comes to trade and digitalization, people always want to change everything in one single shot overnight. And you have to be practical. You have to take baby steps. So the first step is how I digitalize my communication with banks. The second step is the document. The third step, and so on, so on, so on, so on. So being practical, finding the first champions. Happy to be here with ANZ because that's the first one, and having more.
Absolutely amazing. You make some valid points. It's always been a challenge around, when it's such an elephant around how do we prioritise, to your point, it's just taking the baby steps and how we get there and, what the priorities are. In terms of then anyone who's working with Congo, what would you say to them to be like, if you want to work with us, this is the top 2 things that you need to be aware of before you engage with us so they can get ahead of themselves?
So you have to be clear on what you want. So our sweet spot in terms of targets when it comes to corporates and people who have complex organization and volume. So the more branches you have, the more users you have, the more banks you have, the more corporates you have, the more you need a tool to harmonize and automate your processes. If you issue 1 LC per month, stay on email and Excel, it's fine. If you are more than that, you can come with us. And it's not only about how you communicate with bank, it's mapping all your processes internally, who can do what, to which department, and how you digitize that part of it. And our biggest successes, as the clients we have, are global organizations. I mentioned DHL, Hitachi, ABB. They have thousands of users. So it's a process. It can take a year, but you need to have this strategic thinking and what is the value you want to achieve at the end of the day. And don't be afraid. Change is complicated for everyone. You're not the only one. It's fine.
Such a great point. Change is inevitable, and how we adapt and grow with that change. And certainly from Congo's point of view, you're there with them in the trenches, supporting each and every individual organisation take themselves to where they are today and where they need to head in the future. In terms of next steps for Congo, what's looking forward for the next 12 months? What's the key areas for you? Are you allowed to share with our audience?
Yes. So our biggest market today are Europe and the US. So we are always looking to add new features. I think the key one everyone's speaking of, but that's true, would be AI. But AI not just to show that we can have, but AI embedded in our products. So how we can help, for instance, management of bank guarantees to help a corporate to vet the text of a guarantee is going to push to a bank. How we can help a corporate who wants to have an LC export from the invoice he wants to issue to have the format of the LC export he asks to receive. So all this stuff with very practical steps, that's how it's going to improve even further the operation of the corporate.
Well, absolutely fantastic, Nicolas. I know it's about lunch and we're about to get a big stampede of individuals going to come to your booth and check out more about what you do. So thank you for your time, Nicolas, and enjoy the rest of the event.
Many thanks. Thank you for your time.